Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boys from For Those With Good Taste. I'm Matt. He's Lenny.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
And the boys are talking about it all today. We're jumping into everything you need to know about DC fandom. Well, more so just what we want to know. And then we're going to be talking about you. And we're talking about you. Not you, but you. You know, you. And Lenny's going to talk about how he barely came out alive last week.
Surprise, surprise, motherfuckers. Halloween didn't kill me.
And so much more. So strap up, tune in. We're getting started right now.
Tie them boots up, because they're made for walking, motherfucker.
Some people use Velcro.
For those with good taste.
Lenny, some things are just meant to be. And when I mean meant to be, I mean like me in this chair next to you talking about a movie that I know you love.
I'm just a girl in front of a guy telling... Notting Hill, I saw that a couple weeks ago, remember?
That's also from another show.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about a movie, dude.
Well, I know you didn't want to jump right into this movie. I figured we'd give it a little bit of a buffer, but it just feels good to be back in here. I was glad that D had a chance to sit in, babysit you for a little bit, have some good conversation.
He goes by Ange now.
I forgot about that. Young Ange. Hashtag Young Ange.
He prefers Ange.
Oh, man. It was good to see you guys in here. I appreciate for him sitting in the hot seat for me. But you and I have got some business to attend to, bro.
I left the people, Matt, this past week on a huge cliffhanger. I don't know if you caught this. I told them they might not see me here this week because if Halloween Kills was bad enough, I would just kill myself. So
I mean, you locked yourself in when you said that you would not be able to give this movie a bad review or a bad rating. And now you've got to kind of step on that Lego, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I have to give it a... I don't... Ratings aside, I don't even want to talk ratings, Matt. Don't get me into ratings yet. Let me get my shit off, though, if I may.
I mean, this is the only reason we're here.
So, you've seen the movie, I believe.
I have.
That's pretty cool.
I saw it on the cock.
I appreciate you for taking time to watch it.
Hey, man.
Did you actually watch, like, 2018 prior?
I did. Yeah, absolutely. I made sure I did it right. I was going to watch it on the Legendary Voodoo account. But it's available on a bunch of different streaming services, so I was able to catch it on the cock, and then I followed up with Halloween Kills.
So you enjoyed the 2018, right?
Yeah. Man, it's been a while since I've really jumped into like a slasher of this caliber, and yeah, I would say I enjoyed the 2018.
I would say tonally these movies were two different things. That first one, I think I was more afraid in the first movie.
Yeah, big time.
Like the tension of her like going through the house in the dark and like passing through room to room and just not knowing where he was going to come from. This movie, it plays with different ideas, like, so, and it does some interesting things. I came away with my initial thoughts mostly. I'm like being really hesitant to say disappointed, but like
let it all out, man.
So I saw it on Thursday night, like the first available time I could have seen it. And let me actually, before I get there, Matt, you want to
set the scene?
Have I set the scene for you? Like what I was sitting with?
I need you to do it up, bro.
So, you pick your seats at the movies now, right? It's assigned seating. You pick ahead of time.
Yeah, the new age thing is to do it on what they call like an app.
We have these things called cell phones.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're smart and shit.
Picking your seat before you ever get to the theater. This is insane.
So you pick your seat, and I'm famous for picking the handicap additional seats.
I was wondering
like the plus
if you're going to throw
seats.
yourself under the bus again.
I don't see anything wrong with it because, of course, I've said it a million times. I'll get up if somebody actually shows up.
But nobody ever does. Yeah.
So those seats just go unclaimed, and they're the most like personal seats you can sit in, right?
Yeah. You want to talk about respecting like the 6-foot rule?
Mm-hmm.
Best way to do it is in those seats.
I also think that those seats are for true moviegoers.
Yeah.
Because if you don't go to the movies very often, you're not balls. You don't even know how the handicap seating works when you order on the app.
Yeah, it does show like your experience with going to the theater because you're like, oh, I've been to enough showings where 9 times out of 10 nobody's showing up, and 10 times out of 10, even if they do, they're probably going to sit somewhere else.
So at this point, I go into the theater, right? Go to where my seats are, and the way it is it's like set of 4 seats, So we're going right, like left to right. Set of 4 seats, set of 4 seats, 2 seats, 4 seats, 4 seats.
Okay.
Okay? I'm in the second from the left set of 4 seats.
Okay.
So it should be just me in those chairs. I sit down, I go to walk in. There's just this, like, clearly what looks to be an older homeless man
Oh, no.
in my collection of 4 seats. He's got, like, he's you know
be the last movie
the
you ever
older
seen.
you know like the fatter older dude who's got like the bottom of his belly hanging out the bottom of his shirt and he's
Yeah.
wearing like sweatpants.
Oh yeah.
He's one
He
of
has
those
to.
guys.
He has to.
And he has a shopping cart with him, like a push, like not like a Target shopping cart, but
You mean like a mini cart?
But like, you know, when somebody goes to the like laundromat, they have the little cart that they wheel
I know
around
exactly
with
what
them.
you're talking about.
One of those type
Is that
things.
did you have that full of snacks?
I don't know what was in there. I didn't get a good look.
Jesus.
Um,
Gotta investigate this guy.
So that's to my right. And at different points during the movie, he was like kind of murmuring stuff to himself. And I kept trying to figure out what he was saying, and I never really caught it.
You want to talk about what your expectations are versus what reality was?
So that's to my right when I sit down. And I don't have the heart to tell this guy he's in my seat. Like, it wasn't even like he was in the seat I bought.
It only gets worse. But you know what? If he's a homeless guy, you're not asking him to get up. Because
So,
you don't want to sit in that seat.
I didn't want to
after
talk
he's
to him.
already been in
Yeah.
there. Oh,
So
just thinking
he
about it.
kept at random points. He kept like looking at me. You know how you can just tell like out the corner of your eye somebody's looking at you. He kept like looking at me, and in my head I'm like, does he think that I'm fucking crazy for sitting down next to him in these seats? It's like, no, you're fucking crazy because
You're in my seat.
You took my seat.
Oh my god. Was there anybody else
So-
in the other seats though?
So in those sets of 4, it was just me and him. The seats next to me to my left was a set of 2 seats. Right?
okay.
Mistake. Should have just bought one of those chairs. That's where I fucked
Hindsight
up.
being 2020.
That's a fix it for next time. Right?
Oh god.
But
But you've never had this issue in the past.
not
Like,
really,
that's
no.
the thing.
So it's
Live and learn.
the guy on my left is like so into the movie that when he's watching it, like some scary shit's about to happen. And he just starts like slamming his hands down and like stamping his feet on the floor and is like freaking the fuck out the entire time things start happening. So that's like what I have going on all around me. And about 25 minutes into the movie, the guy on the right just got up and left. Just
Okay.
took off.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so I just had crazy guy on my left who, like, of all the people, he wasn't like yelling or anything. He was just, you know, we all deal with fear in different ways. Like, I'm more of a, like, you might see me go
Oh
like,
my God.
you know, when you put your face kind of in the
Yeah.
in the shirt a little.
I
might
do the
that.
hands. I do
Yeah,
the hands. I do this.
exactly.
Oh
Like,
god.
because you can kind of
God.
mask your reactions. This guy was like, I'm just gonna wear it. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Like, I'm
Okay,
just
well,
gonna wear it. And I
It's like
respected that.
It's like those people on a plane who every time like they hit a little bit of turbulence. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those people. Like if my wife is sitting next to me, I'll freak out and grab her hand. I'm like, God, I fucking hate this. But then you have that one person.
Matt, I
like,
got
dude,
news. That's the Mile High Club.
You need to.
That's
No,
all that is.
I've got eyes on this guy. He's freaking the hell out.
No,
and
he's coming.
He's
dude.
watching Happy Gilmore on freaking through the movie choices on the plane.
Okay, he probably wasn't coming. If you had said Billy Madison, I was like, he's definitely coming.
He's watching Happy Gilmore, dude. That's a non-coming movie.
You've never come to Happy Gilmore?
I can't say that I have.
This is a whole. We should do a top 5 movies we'd come to.
If they're only Adam Sandler movies, I've got a couple.
Yeah. 51st Dates.
We don't need to get into
the
this.
Penguins.
But no, so continue, man. You got this guy freaking out to your left.
So that's what I was dealing with while I was watching
man. That's so stressful.
it. So we're gonna go spoiler heavy. I'll just get that out of the way quick here.
Can we
Like,
do a 3, 2,
2,
1.
1,
Spoiler.
spoiler.
It's happening. People get ready.
we got to work on like our octaves when we do that because I think this is like a cool way we do it.
Spoiler.
It's like Skyfall.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really. No, non-patent, dude. No
Yeah, it
trademark.
was close.
It's a
So
generic song.
yeah, we're gonna go extremely spoiler heavy because I just don't really feel like not doing that.
No. We're also going to spend a ridiculous amount of time on this.
Yeah, just the time code's down below.
Strap in.
So the movie starts and does some interesting things. So the very first thing you get in this movie is a flashback to 1977 or 78.
It's almost like your old-fashioned binge watch recap. Like it gives you a rundown of how everything happened before this is.
Oh, okay, I understand what you're saying.
Know what I'm saying?
So what it is like they've taken everything after the original movie out of canon, right?
Yeah.
But in the original canon, the second movie picks up at the immediate ending of
The 2018.
No. So I'm talking about Halloween 1, the 1978 one.
Okay, yes.
When they made Halloween 2, it followed directly the same night. Like, so you pick up from Michael, like, getting up off the ground after he falls over the ledge, and, like, he's going through neighborhoods in Haddonfield that night, killing people. Police are looking for him, yada, yada, yada. They've taken all that out of canon, but they've kind of gone back and just reimagined how that would have happened.
Okay.
And it's him traveling through like these. I like the feel. Like, I like the 1970s like feel that they had on that.
That gave me the old school like thriller type of horror film.
There's just something like there's still a couple places in my town that have this feeling, like you know, like those old neighborhood feels.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just got like. It's hard to explain. Like,
what,
the houses have a specific look, like the way the kids are like outside
kids
the streets.
Are the way the kid. That's what I was gonna say. The way the kids are outside playing. The way that like sometimes it'll be at the end of a cul-de-sac. Like you don't really. Some of those streets will go off into dead ends. But I understand what you're saying.
And like so, it's those neighborhoods where you could just walk from yard to yard.
Yep.
And so he just navigates his way through that, and the word's starting to get around. I like the feeling of that. I also like filling in the blanks because they had told us in the last movie the sheriff had said that he felt responsible for not killing Michael the night that he was arrested.
Right.
And the question always is like, well, how did you arrest him? Like, how would you have ended up in a situation where Michael would have let you take him?
Yeah.
Right. So they fill in a lot of those blanks, and I tended to. I really like the beginning actually. How'd you feel about like the up until the initial credits?
Being able to go from so I watched it directly after the 2018 film to be able to have that and just get a little bit more backstory on what had originally happened in the original Halloween was great. It also gave me some reference point for who I was going to see in the film to come. So they already give you reference for what's it, Weird Lonnie or Strange Lonnie, kid who falls in the street, and for some reason Michael lets him leave,
like as a little
lets him live, right?
The kid's getting bullied was like so fucked up.
He you know, neighborhood weird kid, like
but she like smacks him, like
no, like it was messed up.
Like...
And then the cops come over and they're like, hey, is everything all right? And they're like, just hanging out with our friend Lonnie. Smacks him again. It's like, what the dude, cop, do something. But in typical cop fashion, it's like, oh, you kids got to get out of here. He just murdered 3 teenagers.
Yeah.
And it's
run home.
The backstory from what had originally happened.
So first really cool thing. So Dr. Loomis, right? Yep. The person who shows up on the
first doctor.
Yeah, his original doctor shows up on the stoop. Excuse me. And I was like really confused because I'm like, that looks great.
Yeah.
Like, and I've seen all of the movies, and I'm like, this isn't something from the movies. Like I don't remember this part specifically. Like, and I mean that knowing that this was a new scene that was made, but I thought what they would have, if they're going to do it, what you're doing is taking dialogue or something that happened.
You're reimagining something that happened before.
Maybe even just pulling it directly from there and like dropping it into this and using it in a different manner, which I'm pretty sure we've seen in other places. But what they actually did, and I don't know if you know this, they're like one of their crew chiefs or whatever who was designing the sets looked like strikingly similar, I guess. And they used prosthetics and they got him to look
just like Dr. Loomis.
That's crazy. Strikingly like similar, like the still pictures of the guy with the prosthetics on and not on. And it's because
it almost looks like it could be a reimagined shot, but you know that it's a new thing.
Well,
like it's not something that's been done before.
For you to use that, like, because for them to include him, like, because he's synonymous. There's three things that are synonymous with Halloween, and it's like
Dr. Loomis.
It's Laurie. Yeah, it's Laurie, Michael, and Dr. Loomis. Yep. It's like those 3 characters are synonymous, and it's crazy because like, you know, Laurie's really only in the first 2 and doesn't show up again until H2O, but Loomis is in 5 of them.
Yeah,
you know, so I think total at that point, and he dies before H2O, or I'm sure he would have probably come back for it.
And then it's the other doctor who's responsible for the events of what happens in 2018.
The newest doctor. Yeah. So but if they had to really fuck that up, I think it can really pull you out of the experience, right? But by getting it like so perfect, it almost draws you more in because you're like, holy shit, I'm getting like Dr. Loomis in a 2021
how did you
Halloween
to
movie. Yeah, and it looks good and it sounds good and it makes sense. You're not just forcing it in there. Like they could have easily done the thing where you just see the back of his head or something, you know?
Yeah, or like they do like the shot from the bottom of the leg. So you're just like, oh, I guess we'll assume that's that guy.
Yeah.
So really cool that they were able to do that.
So then it picks up where the end of 2018 is. You pick up with the Strode sisters in the back of, or the Strode family, because it's the mother, daughter.
What did you think of how they kind of introduced that? Because it's not a direct jump. They basically have like a little bit of a dialogue from some of the other victims who are, I guess, celebrating the anniversary of the event.
Okay,
so they're like, oh, it's the 40-year anniversary of Michael Myers, or I'm forgetting his name.
Oh, the shape.
The neighborhood.
Oh.
It's something, the neighborhood slasher or something like that. I'm not going to ruin it. But they're kind of going through the motions of, oh, you know, we survived this. We know that it's not the end, but we'll always be ready. And they're like, oh, wherever Lori is, this is for her. And then they immediately cut to them in the back of the truck leaving the burning building.
You ever have something go down the wrong tube?
Oh, have I?
Yeah.
Almost too recently, my man.
Yeah. Do we have that on video
some
anywhere?
Would say it might be recorded.
Yeah, do we have
and
that?
if you matched up the time, it might be to the moment.
I was sitting here, got ready to speak, and I slowly felt something like trickle down the back.
You try to tough it out, and you're like, oh, I got this now.
I can't do it.
Like,
I can't do it. So, yeah, to your point, that does happen. And that's important because you meet a couple, you meet a segment of the main characters that happen in this movie that you're going to run through.
And they basically introduce you to everyone who was affected. It was like Lindsay.
You're so much better with names than I am. It's Lindsay, Tommy, the nurse that I can't remember her name, and then Lonnie.
Yeah.
And Lonnie. So, but you pick up...
Bother me. Go ahead.
Pretty, and not relevant either, anyways. But so you pick up... Like I said, with the Strode family in the back of the car, and they're like, don't save them because there's ambulances going by and like fire trucks going by. And we now get to the house that has been burning since the end of the last movie, right? And we get how does Michael get out of this inescapable scenario? And I still think it's inescapable for one reason and one reason only. So it's when the guy falls through the floor and the door opens and it's like, oh, fuck.
It's almost immediate, too. Like, it wasn't even like they let it build up. It was like he fell through and Mike was like, fuck. Yeah. Now I have a way out.
No, dead. And then the guy reaches his hand down. This is where I think it's unbelievable because it's like, even if a guy reaches his hand down and Michael grabs his hand, like, how are you going to... So how did Michael get out is still the question.
I don't know, man. I don't put anything past the son of a bitch right now.
Because did he pull himself out? But now we get to some of the stuff that, being honest, I don't love. Okay.
I was ready for this.
I can see it both ways because I do, like, visually, right? The action's great. Like when he comes out of the house, kills the fuck out of everybody. The scene they show you in the trailer already.
In the most unique way possible. Like, each person got their own individual death. It was like, oh, you brought a saw to the game, boom, you're dead. Javelin, boom, you're dead.
And in some ways, it's like, it's tough to really criticize it because Michael in the original movies, like, so I just recently watched Halloween 2, like the original sequel, right? And the kills in it are pretty bad. There's like only one or two really memorable kills.
Lives up to the name of a slasher.
This one in the 2018, Michael's always had a flair for like his kills. He did the gravestone one with his family in the original movie. But in the flair
he's
for
a people pleaser.
In these ones, it's kind of crazy, right? So the reason I don't like it is it's like he walks out at certain times in this movie. It's almost like he's like an action star from the 90s, right?
Bro,
like,
I would have thought he was an Olympian at some point because some of the shit he was pulling off, I was just like, man, his 40 time must be insane. Dude.
But he walks out of the house and he's like hit it. Like Michael would never like put the weapon into his hand. Like he was like, all right, let's fucking go, bitches. Like that's not how he would do it. Michael Myers, historically, and it's their right to change him and however they want to, but even Michael Myers in the original movie that is still in canon, is he preys on the fear of his victims. He's a stalker. He's not like a necessary. This is even where the Rob Zombie one I think gets it wrong at points. He's not a vicious. He's a killer, but like, and he has these moments where he's like malicious and does like weird shit with the body.
He's supposed to be a 6-year-old.
So I was going to get to that.
Right?
I was going to get to that.
That.
They use a line later in the movie that's like really
jump the gun.
Intelligent, but
that's what I do.
Or makes it synonymous.
Synonymous.
Sure, whatever. I don't know why I can't get the word right now. But either way, it really capital.
He really captivates.
No, I don't
No?
know. I don't know what is going on right now. Oh my god, you're watching a person fall apart live on air here, folks.
Sorry, buddy. I'm supposed to be more supportive.
It's normally you who has this happen to them
this
too. I'm
happens to me
normally
all the
pretty good
time.
with it. I'm trying too hard right now.
No.
But
There's a word that you're trying to say.
encapsulates. Is that a word?
That
Encapsulates.
I don't think that's the word. Maybe it sounds right.
Sure.
But continue.
I mostly forgot what I was saying because I've just killed myself. Anywho, he walks out of the house. He wouldn't do that. He's normally a stalker. Like, that's why you see him lurking around everywhere. Like, they're waiting. Even in this movie, the kids are like, this guy keeps playing hide and go seek with us, right?
Could we go there?
Well, I want to get to it.
Okay, go ahead.
So he wouldn't do what he did here, where he comes outside. And then all of a sudden, he's like a trained fucking, like, martial artist, you know?
He was putting in
like,
some work, bro.
deflects an axe, stabs him, like fucking listen. It's just
didn't take a knock in those first couple minutes.
So
dude.
that I was like, holy shit, this is like he's badass as fuck, but like this isn't in line with the character I know.
Do you think he was probably just pissed? He was probably fired up. Was like, this bitch left me to burn.
Yeah,
watch what I can do.
Nobody does this to me. You made me bleed my own blood.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. And then just went ham. Like, he probably knew the word was going to get back to her. Maybe. Who knows? And was like, I got to set an example.
But so in being that it's necessary to probably like speed this process up a little bit. Basically, at this point, word gets around to the entire town that that Michael's back and that X amount of firefighters are dead. Like, they found X amount of people around the town dead, and that group of people that are out at the bar celebrating 40 years since the events.
Old Sheriff Frank is already either making his way to the hospital or gets to the hospital.
Yes, because I forget the daughter's name, but her boyfriend finds him.
Sarah?
Maybe.
Sure.
That sounds, again, you're better with names than I am. But this leads to
I know one of them's Allison, but I think that's the granddaughter.
We also find out via newscast that there's two people that escaped from the mental institution crash.
Yep.
It's Michael and it's another person that
Who is yet to be named.
He looks a lot like the Peter Pettigrew in Harry Potter, the character that turns into the rat.
Ooh, okay.
He looks a lot like Peter Pettigrew. Peter Pettigrew. So we get introduced to him. He's hiding in the back of a car. They chase him off. And this is kind of what the main storyline that progresses through a fair amount of this movie is. It's not that... The thing that they're changing in this story of Michael Myers is that for the longest time it was Michael was tied to Laurie and there was the family and stuff. This is actually like Michael is... not tied to Laurie is what you found out, and they talk about how it's like the doctor's the only reason that he gets back to Laurie. It actually has nothing to do with Laurie itself, that the doctor put them back on a collision course with each other. But Michael's really just driven by like fear.
That's what I was going to say. The idea that he wants to create chaos and make it so that these people are just as big of a monster as he is.
Yeah, he turns them into... but like I said, he gets horny on fear, and the reason why it's like some of the stuff's is weird in this movie is, like I was saying, like Michael's not brutal. You remember at the end of the 2018 one, so when he flips over the island to get into the room where he inevitably burns, and the mom is crying because she knows that he's literally gets off on the fact that these teenage girls, these babysitters that he's killed, he gets off on the idea that he's making them feel that afraid. So she draws him in by acting as afraid as she does. And then she says, gotcha. As soon, because she's like, I knew I would get. And she does this. They know Michael obviously very well because they set traps for him in this one too. But my thing is like he would have probably avoided like that instance where the firefighters would have killed. I don't think traditionally Michael Myers would have gone out and chosen to kill that's 8 dudes head on.
It may be out of character, but given the fact that the man almost burned to death, probably was just fired up.
Well, and to your point, like it's a way you have to galvanize the town into being that afraid. And how would you do that? By saying like he's murdered 16 people tonight, 40 years after he murdered 3 girls and whoever else.
Yeah,
you
also I think need to just set the precedent that like he's capable of a lot of things, and if you didn't know that, you know that immediately from the start of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it then maybe sets the tempo for things that follow.
Yeah, so the hospital stuff, the crowd, Tommy Doyle was a kid from the original movie. He's obviously lived with fear himself because he's one of the few people who've come face to face with Michael in that environment.
Yeah.
So and that's where it's weird that he thinks that the small guy, the mental patient, was Michael. But it's kind of a necessary thing that's happening there, obviously, that like he's afraid, he's angry.
That's what I was going to say.
And it skews everything.
When the idea that Michael Myers is back, the sheer panic in the crowd, right,
Mm-hmm.
is what then causes a series of events that I don't think, like maybe Tommy didn't think that was him, but everyone's like, oh, that's him. Go get him. He's already had this idea that he's going to be the one to bring justice to this town.
Yeah.
And he's already caught up in that. And
like a hero complex at points, too.
Yeah, man. And that's, given the fact that these people have dealt with a lot of trauma, there is that need to be the person to end it. Like, this is the only way that I'm going to be able to get any type of relief or going to be able to sleep at night. And that just causes a series of events that you just really, looking back on it, would be like, man, this probably could have been avoided and probably should have gone a different way.
So this movie, I think psychologically, like, it's a thriller more than it's a horror movie at points, because like I think we can all understand, like, they play with that emotion, the fear and the anger and like the hurt and all of that. You feel all of that for this town and the mob. And originally I thought the mob was a good thing, but I love that when you actually see the movie in its entirety, you're like, wait, no, it would be a terrible thing.
It's the worst possible thing.
Yeah, like a unruly group of people like that are just mowing down anybody who gets in their way. Famously, and not to get like super dark, like that's kind of, it reminds you of, do you remember like the Rhode Island the fire at the nightclub?
Yeah.
Right? And not that that's an angry mob,
that,
but like you think about what people will do when their lives are in danger or they feel threatened.
You're talking about a lot of people packed into a small space.
Yeah, so for those of the people who don't know, like it was like a Fish tribute band, I think, and it was in an old concert venue, and they had like old carpeted like fur walls or whatever in this place, like old shit that went up in flames. It wasn't up to code, and they only had one real entrance and exit for group of
it was a fire
people to get
hazard
out
all around.
So everybody bottlenecks and doesn't let people get out. So what it ends up doing is everybody gets trampled and stuck inside because everybody clogs up at the exit, right?
Yeah, you don't have the ability to get out.
It's just kind of reminds you of what happens here, because like as they're running through the hospital, like they're knocking over shit, people are falling over, getting hurt,
and no one actually has a clear visual on the guy
what's going on, but
to be able to say anything,
yeah.
right?
And I think we all can feel that in that moment, right?
And there is a moment where Laurie is like, this is his doing. Like she takes the blame for it because she says that it's her fault, but they do come to that understanding that no, this is what Michael wanted. This is what he wanted to orchestrate to create this havoc. Maybe he is coming for Laurie, but at the end of the day, he's creating little Michael Myers out of everybody, right? Just out of the fact that people are afraid of what he's capable of.
So again, like there's definitely storyline things that I'm gonna have problems with, but one thing this movie 100% gets right is a lot of the action and kill sets that they do here, like sequences that they use. So we had mentioned the kids in the park, right? The kids in the park, he's tormenting them, right? He's like stalking them. He keeps hiding behind trees and like doing all this weird shit. And that's where I'm like, that's the Michael Myers thing, right? Like toying with your thing, trying to make them be like, am I seeing something? And like, what's going on? As he slowly gets like closer and closer and closer, you know?
Stupid kids saying, oh, this guy's over here playing peekaboo with us. We know a fake mask when we see one.
What else do you say? Like, do they call him a fucking pervert or something like that?
Yeah, it just sums up this generation. Like some real shit could be going down. They don't have any idea, and they're like, "No, we're just waiting for our friend, lady. We're not going home. Shut up."
The crazy, that shit would have been so like huge on Twitter, you know, like if this was really happening.
Social media, that girl would have been in the middle of her TikTok when they saw Michael Myers like killing people. That's just kind of the way that the new generation works.
We're in the park and they're on the swing, and the first car of the group of people that have galvanized to come out and try to kill Michael Myers and Evil Dies Tonight, Stop Him Tonight.
Hashtag Evil Dies Tonight.
Is Annie, right? Is her name? Lindsay. Fuck. Yeah. Annie's one of the people who died in the first one. So Lindsay and wife and husband who had happened to be at the
nurse,
bar that
nurse
night.
and doctor.
Yeah, but that were reverse roles for Halloween. Pretty cool. I liked it.
It's hilarious.
Couple goals.
It's hilarious.
So this leads to, Matt, what is to me the number one kill in this movie.
Ooh, okay.
This,
Which one?
This leads to the best kill in the whole movie.
Okay.
So Lindsay goes over to tell the kids to leave, and they say to her, like, oh, this man's just in a mask has been just like hiding behind trees and stuff like that. And she looks over, and Michael's standing behind the truck just staring at them.
Yeah.
And then you get the view from the front of the truck into the car, and there's the three people in the car sitting together.
And they're like, oh, shit.
You see him crawl on top of the car, and the older woman starts shooting. She gets it, right? Done.
Yeah.
The guy takes a fucking knife through the eye. In this process, the wife has somehow gotten out of the car, and instead of leaving to run,
I knew that this was gonna be the one.
She comes back, and she starts shooting at the car in the funniest way possible, like so funny.
No, what's funnier about this is that she's like, "Are you sure you're even gonna be able to shoot that?
No,
this gun's too big for you." She was emasculating this man. Takes this big ass Desert Eagle.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Everything's going around him. Nothing's hitting him.
Nothing close. Opens the door.
And this is like where it kind of goes against what I'm saying, where like I don't like that Michael Myers is all of a sudden like this like
a crafty
super
killer.
like super crafty, like quick-witted killer. But she walks up, last bullet in the gun. He kicks the door as she fires, and the gun just whips around in her limp ass wrist, and she just shoots herself in the head. Like, got a loud reaction in the movie. It was hilarious to watch.
It was such a good kill.
You know, like, so that's definitely, to me, the best kill in the whole movie. It's top notch, man.
So one of the detractors that I had is that in this movie, there's a lot of those moments where you're just like, oh, duh, this is that typical horror BS.
Mm-hmm.
When old lady's shooting the gun, she's got a revolver.
Yeah, it doesn't realize she has 6 bullets.
She put out like 5, 6, maybe even 7 shots, John Wick style.
Mm-hmm.
And then gave this whole speech. Michael just sat there and watched her like he knew, bitch, you're out of bullets.
Mm-hmm.
Like you ain't doing nothing to me. She's like, oh, your time has come, buddy. Oh no. And she just gets got immediately.
But he does a really good job in all of his kills of using misdirection. That's where it was funny. Do you remember when Tommy Doyle was giving the speech and he's like, you know, we got to hit him with surprise. So when he thinks you're going left, you got to go right. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? You were like a 5-year-old kid the last time you dealt with this kid. How are you some type of expert that's going to give us
He's listened to a lot of things being said.
But that's what Michael does, right? Like, so he uses the little, like, the kid's head or whatever that he has. He, like, drops it on the thing. She shoots over here. He hits on the window over this side. She shoots the window out. He does that also when he's going back home to his own house. And you remember he knocks on the front door.
It's so disrespectful.
Little John and Big John. Yeah.
Damn it, they're at the back door now. Those two, very weird relationship.
I liked it. him like upstairs listening to the music, just kind of like chilling out, smoking a joint,
vibing, bro.
Yeah.
The person's like, hey man, we got to get ready for these trick-or-treaters.
The epitome of like way too comfortable though. It's like it's Halloween night and you're in Michael Myers' house in Haddonfield and you're like,
and dude, he kept threatening kids. He's like, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Do you know what house this is? And you eventually find out, yeah, man, it's Michael Myers' house, and he always comes home.
I think for a movie that is obviously very heavy-handed, and a lot of what it's doing is very brutal in moments, it does do a good job of having those little moments of levity between the chick getting killed with her hand whipping around, the scenes with Little John and Big John, right? Like
the build-up is awesome.
Their whole thing was funny. Even like the way that they die is funny. The way Big John dies is brutal. If
aside from girl getting the gun whipped in her face, if any deaths are funny.
Yeah, not really.
But some of them, it's like, okay, I can certainly get this. This man gouged this guy's eyes out and then does a little stabby stab.
He stabs him under, like, the first thing he does is stab him under the armpit.
So how vicious do you think, and even before that, like the very first kill scene that sticks out to my mind is when he gets Lenny Clark bent over the island, and he just
takes every knife in the cutting board.
Dude, did they just have like what's Gordon Ramsay's like entire knife set
yeah.
built in, because he stabs him like 9 times. Just wow.
The way he kills the lady with
Wow.
the light tube too, like
So vicious, man. I was like, oh,
but it's
Christ.
like it's vicious and it's not because it's a 6-year-old. So it's like he's just toying
It's very
with it.
normal.
He's
Yeah,
just
like,
he's like, well, how's this gonna look if I stab her through
and
the
you're
throat?
right in the throat, and she has to still kind of bleed out and watch this man just stab. But you could just see it in the background. He's like, stab. Is there another one? There is.
Yep. And
Stab.
he leaves it till there's one left, and he takes it, and you're like, damn, he could really stab him again. He's like, nope, I'm actually just gonna keep this one.
I called it though.
This is mine.
Because after like the 10th one, I was like, all right, he still needs one for the road, right? And then he just starts walking out with it. I was like, and there it is, the vintage Michael Myers knife. There we go.
Yeah, this is the one. He was actually just working it out which one stabs the best till he found the one he was like, this feels good.
He's like, hopefully there's 2 of these.
This feels right. This feels right. He used way more weapons in this that aren't his prototypical weapon. Like at one point, I think he had a bat, right? Like
So much more toys to play with.
Yeah,
Like
he's
he
just
was
fucking
just
going at it with
enjoying
everything
it.
he could. So the whole time they've kind of lied to Laurie. She finds out they've been lying to him, that Michael's not actually dead. She obviously wants to help, but this is an issue I actually have, not with the movie, but more in the promotion of it.
Okay.
They definitely in the trailers make it look like she's going to be far more
It's going to be
involved.
a showdown.
Yeah, like Michael dies tonight, and I'm going to be the
talk
one
about
who kills
misdirection.
him. And we should have all known, like, how is she going to really believably be able to do anything?
But we did have the question of like, who is going to make it through?
Mhm.
And with the handful of characters that they reintroduce you to, you're like, okay, here's a whole bunch of fodder that I know is going to be good kill stuff.
Yeah.
But who is actually going to
But
make
it really,
towards
the only
end?
thing that matters is the 3 women.
The core,
right?
yeah, at
Like
the end
really.
of the day.
So let's flash forward to the end
Fast
at
forward.
this point, right?
Yeah.
So like, we get to the end. At this point, we're back. The scene that we saw in the trailer where it's like everything is leading Michael back home. What you find out is that he's not attracted to Laurie Strode. That actually has nothing to do with it. It's all pure coincidence that she's been involved or like there for
This
a lot
bitch
of
has
this.
got a vendetta against him.
So-
he doesn't want nothing to do with her.
What he is, and this is the line you were going to bring up earlier, I think, is he is a 6-year-old's mind inside of an adult. Oh no, so he's a 6-year-old inside of an adult's body with the mind of an animal, is what they describe him as. So, and it makes perfect sense when they describe it as that like all he does is he goes out and plays with stuff. Like he goes and like
Yeah, there is the line. Like they call it exactly like this.
he sees it as like I'm playing games. Like that's why he plays like hide and go seek with people and toys with them and like
Fucked up,
everything.
dude.
And then after, what would a 6-year-old do? Like
I'm going home.
I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, I'm tired. I gotta
Like,
go eat.
Yeah, like I've done my stuff for today. I'm just gonna go.
Hopefully, mom
home.
made sandwiches. I killed her.
And I do like a thing they've done. I think it was Halloween 2. They did this, and they did it again in this one. You find out that after it, like they go to the Myers house and they find the dead dog. Like
Yeah.
he eats dogs is like a thing throughout the franchise.
Yeah, it was cool to see them keep that up because it did, like, you had to have a whole point to this, right? It just couldn't be the whole showdown. Like, the idea that he would go to a hospital and try and track Laurie down didn't really sit with me. I was like, there's no way. So once the whole riot happens at the hospital, you're like, okay, there's no way that this
He wouldn't
is
just
him.
show up here.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
just show up here. It doesn't make sense.
So the final showdown is at the Myers house. He's gone back there. He's killed Big John, Little John, and so Lonnie shows up with his son and Laurie's granddaughter.
Allison.
Thank you.
Boom.
Lonnie dies off camera, but we can't be that surprised about it, right? But this leads to the 2 kids going in, and I think the biggest surprise in this movie, the granddaughter Allison was good in 2018's movie, but I thought she was great in the moment at the end of this movie. Like,
Yeah, I thought you were going to say the biggest surprise was that people still think it's safe to be in a car when Michael Myers is around.
but they didn't die in the car in this one.
No, they didn't. But Lonnie's like, hey,
stay in the car.
Hey,
yeah.
stay in the car where I know
You're
you're
probably
going to
better
be
being
safe.
the 3 of you together, honestly, if anything, or just don't go in. That's hot tip. Just
Come on,
stay
man.
outside.
Like,
Don't go in the building.
You were the one who found the car full of blood with a whole bunch of dead people hanging out at the playground. Like, you
Everybody-
should know what's going on.
Everybody just thinks they're going to be the guy to kill him. You know, like everybody's
Fucking
like, stay
ego,
here. I'll go
bro.
take care. I have a gun. I'll go handle it.
Yeah. Nobody else has been able to do it, but
I'm the guy.
I got this.
So I loved the daughter. The
strong
boyfriend
word, dude.
the boyfriend had time. Like it was probably his time to go. Right.
Yeah.
Also, funny enough, we're gonna get to this later. He's in You. Yeah. Season 3. Isn't that weird?
That is real weird.
Like I was like, oh shit, this kid.
Hindsight being what it is, I was kind of happy to see this.
Yeah, this happened. This happened. Yeah. And his death. So the granddaughter gets in there, tries to stop him. Dude, so this is what I love: how quickly he knocks the gun away, and she without even thinking, knife, stabs him
Dude,
3 times.
She's gangster.
Didn't give
Immediate
a fuck.
Gangster was like, yo, I'm in it, dude.
That's why I was like, you're awesome. Like
Yeah.
you're growing throughout this.
Bro, she has a legacy to live up
Yeah,
to.
well, and
you know
that's
what I
where
mean?
it's like, okay, which one of these characters? They're basically telling us Michael can't die in some ways, right? Right now, like,
yeah. I mean, if you haven't gotten that by now,
so if you're gonna continue this on in the next movie, obviously, like that, her character has already shown that she's kind of a thug. Right, she gets tossed down the stairs, breaks her fucking leg in half, and it's still like,
yo, I'm getting up.
yeah, like,
But there is a challenger for best death scene.
well, so this one, yeah,
Because Michael is like, oh, you're talking shit? Guess what? I'm not going to come punish you.
yeah, I'm
punishing your homie.
yeah,
Boom, boom, boom. And you're just like, oh my goodness. Like smashing. You would have thought he broke his neck like 3 different times. And then he's like, no, smash. Oh, okay, now you're dead. Your throat's cut up. No. Double RK bro, dude, you're dead.
and then the part where he walks down the stairs, and she's just like, you motherfucker, don't do it. Don't you fucking do it. Don't, you know, like that moment where she's like, you better not. No, this is too far. This is too far. And he just flips the dude's head around, stares at her, and he's like, oh, you think I won't? You think I'm done? Oh, no, I'm not done.
So, oh, you thought he was gonna make it out of here? No,
Yeah.
he's dead.
You thought I was just going to get distracted? No.
Eyes on the prize, bitch.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of savage because when you think about a 6-year-old, it's like, hey, don't
Exactly.
don't touch that.
Yep.
Put it down.
It's like me
just
telling Bailey, like the
exactly
door's
like that.
open, and you're like, so it's like door open, Bailey, me. And I'm like, don't.
No,
No,
don't you bail on
no.
it.
But if I take one step towards that door, she's just
Oh,
gonna take off out the door. Yeah.
Yeah, you're done.
But yeah, so she does. Like,
Welcome
she
to
was just
Halloween, bitch.
total thug in that moment. Also, when she's like about to get stabbed, and he's confused because he's just.
Do it.
She's like, just fucking do it, pussy.
Can I tell you who this reminded me of?
What?
And I talked about this. Shout out to New York Comic Con. For those with good taste, we're dropping some photos from New York Comic Con.
Sick.
But a buddy of ours who we've played like Ghost Recon with, Call of Duty,
Okay.
and he does a great impression when he's like, "Come on, kill me!
Yeah.
I want you to do it. Kill me." That was the only thing I could think of because she's like, "Fuck it, come on, kill me, come on."
You
She's
big old
like,
pussy. Like, and Michael's like,
and he's like,
so off, but he's like, is somebody calling? Have you seen what I've done
he
tonight?
said, "Tonight alone, I've got a sick resume. Let alone the last 40 years."
But it's perfect because it's almost as if
oh man,
it's almost as if the same way with like Laurie at this point, it's like he's found a foe, you
Yes.
know? And the whole time you're getting like these overlapping like commentaries from Laurie and the sheriff back at the hospital of like he preys on the fear of the town, and like we've created this by being like creating this like fear in him and like putting him on a mantle as this like this person that you have to like always remember,
in
you know?
in a Freddy Krueger reference, you're almost fueling his flame.
This movie reminded me a lot of Freddy.
Big time, because the more that you speak his name, the more that you talk about his deeds,
Give him power, yeah.
the more and more bold he's going to become. And that's just where you just get to a point, like even when he's about to stab her, that he does have a moment where he's like, I'm going to kill you, but I fucking respect the hell out of what you're trying to do right now. But I'm going to go stabby stab.
So the movie falls apart for me in the last like 10 minutes or so. And this is where most of my negativity it lies and how I feel and why I came away kind of disappointed, I guess is what I had trouble saying earlier.
Wow.
Because I think up to this point,
It's easier to say it now?
we spent close to 40 minutes on this now, right?
Very burning.
And I have been pretty positive, like because I think up to this point I had largely enjoyed the backstory we got from the 70s stuff, the return of the Loomis. I've liked all the kills have been like brutal, intense, and like cool and whatever. But
It's time to take the gloves off.
and I even like taking the mask because again, it's like a kid thing. Like he's like, I need that. That's mine. Like give me that back, and follows her right.
You just took my face.
The thing I don't like though. It's like tough because I'm gonna keep building to what I actually don't like because there are bits that I like in here.
Just like
He brings her so she draws him out to the middle of the street, drops his mask on the middle of the road. Is like, again, gotcha, bitch.
Yeah.
Like again, the Strode family has put you
Falling
in
into these
in
freaking
an,
traps.
in an unescapable trap. We've got you again. And I love that he picks up the mask. And again, this is not in character because it's like Clint Eastwood as he walks out of the saloon.
We're gonna fucking go.
Yeah, like this all like he's got just the two guns left. He's got to take out a bunch of
I
guys.
hear no bell.
Exactly. He just he tightens up the boots. He puts his mask back on, and he's like, "All right, bro,
we're doing this.
See who got it. Who's really about it right now?" And I will tell you, Matt, what frustrates me and why I get so annoyed is not a single one of these motherfuckers are really about it. That's my problem. You're hitting him in the back. They do hit him in the face a couple times when he's standing up.
So,
but
I was gonna say one of my biggest concerns, and we talked about it when we watched the trailer, was, apparently it's not just Laurie in this one, right? Like, it's the entire town fed up with the idea that he's gonna terrorize them and give them all this these issues. And immediately I was like, oh no, this mob is not going to last. Like, he's already breaking through a couple of these bitches. Like, there's very few things that they're going to be able to do. Mm-hmm. So when we get to this final moment, I was like, you guys are all dead. Like, there's just no way that you make it.
And this is where the problem lies, right? Announcing that this was a trilogy ahead of time. When you get to this scene where he is cornered and there's no way out, what made 2018 was special, right, was that it was a continuation to the Michael and Laurie story. And they wrote it in a way that almost gave a finality at the end, like Laurie's finally trapped him and killed him. And they left it in a way that if it wasn't successful, that was a satisfying ending. But they gave you at the very end his breathing to let you know, like, there's a chance of a sequel. But before this movie, if you tell me that Halloween Ends is still coming out, when he's surrounded by all these people, unless you took his fucking head off, I knew there was no way he was going to actually be. And when you see them all just beating him up with baseball bats to the back and shit, you're like, there's no tension to it.
There's no tension to it. But the only thing that I gave them, like, hey, maybe there's a wee cop-out here, is maybe you've had so much talk between Laurie and Frank about how they've instilled this fear in this town. Mm-hmm. And what's going to happen next, or what's going to be the thing that stems from all of this. And if it's a copycat or somebody who...
That's where I was worried we were going, honestly.
And that's where I was like, this is the only thing I can think of them doing if they're going to give us this type of finality. But as it's happening, you get a sense that this isn't over. Like, there's no tension of, oh no, like, they finally got him.
Yeah.
You had to know something else was going to happen.
So you get the end sequence. And my problem with the end sequence isn't so much that he gets out by killing like 15 fucking people, which is insane.
Was it the Achilles heel slash?
It was more so the way it was filmed. I didn't like the close up, stop frame, swipe across the neck, hand stops here, and then he turns around and cuts the Achilles.
It was very Sin City.
It was just... You go back to the beginning of the movie when he kills the firefighters, and you get this kind of slow. He's slow moving, but it's all in real time that he deflects this thing away, stabs a guy, picks this guy up,
the guy through the mask.
But they almost used that trope in the beginning of the movie, so they couldn't use it again at the end. So instead, we got this weird stop frame thing, and then you get from there he escapes the group of people, kills all of them, including Tommy Doyle.
Gets around the perimeter.
Goes somehow back to his house. Gets all the way upstairs, which the weird part, and I rewatched it today, that I think in this part is he would have had to walk up the stairs. Laurie's daughter, or not Laurie's daughter, the granddaughter, Allison, is sitting on the stairs and watches her mom, turns around and watches her mom go up the stairs to the upstairs. So I feel like you would have had to have seen him.
This is why I said he's an Olympian.
Yeah,
do you know how much he can high jump, bro?
But I had predicted this, right? I told you who was going to die in this movie, and it was 100% accurate.
Can I say another concern of mine was that we were going to get out of this and all three of them were going to make it? No. And I was like, no, that couldn't happen because you've basically let this entire movie allowed them to get them off scot-free.
Yeah.
And there's no comeuppance. Yeah, where's the comeuppance?
The closest thing was the granddaughter.
And she stood in the spot. As soon as she stood in the spot, I was like, oh, here's the comeuppance.
Well, they also, about 15 minutes prior to this, 20 minutes prior to this, they foreshadow it because when they're doing the voiceover and it's like, I remember my partner went up into the room and stood in this exact same spot that Michael did, and they would say it almost as if he was looking at and seeing his own reflection, not really looking at what was outside. And at the same exact time they're doing that voiceover, the daughter is standing staring at herself in her reflection. They basically told you 20 minutes ahead of time that they were going to kill her, but she goes up into that room for whatever reason. She sees Michael's childhood body in that room. And that's where I'm like wondering what they're going to do. Because there's got to be an explanation for that. But they kill her more in like a traditional 1970s slasher. Hands up.
Yeah.
You don't see the blade going in. It's just her getting stabbed a ton of times. But this leads me to like our final point, because we've gone very, very long. And I don't apologize, because I already told
This
you
is what we were doing.
I told you a month ago I was going to do this shit. The next movie, Halloween Ends. This is what they're setting up. There's going to be a time jump between this movie and the next one.
Yeah.
There's going to be 4 years time between movies.
So there goes the theory of just a year.
4 years is going to give them, it kind of reminds me of like, it's almost going to be like, because now he's God tier, right? Now Michael Myers is God tier because the whole town rallied together, tried to kill him, and he killed 15 people. Right, he killed all of them. He killed he killed the daughter of Laurie Strode. Right.
He also killed Tommy Doyle.
Now all the people that were willing to go against him are going to be afraid. They can't go against him anymore. So I'm imagining in my head that like and it could look completely different than this, but the way it sounds to me is it's going to be like post-apocalyptic almost Haddonfield come Halloween, right? Like streets are completely empty, everybody's terrified, nobody will come outside, and there's going to be 2 people. There's going to be 3 people, right?
That's what I was going to say. The big question is who's left, because when he slashed the old sheriff, he slashed Tommy, he slashed everybody, killed Sarah Stroud.
No, but you have Laurie, you have Allison, and you have the sheriff.
Sure. But that sheriff looks broken, dude.
But this is 4 years later.
No, Jaffield, bro.
He's going to die.
He took off his hat, dude.
I think, they've already told you how this ends. They've already told you in this movie how it ends. They've told you that both Laurie and Michael have to die.
Yeah.
Right.
She said it and admitted it.
Like we both have to die. And I think we've all kind of known that. So at this point, it's going to be like, the sheriff's probably going to do something to help them defeat him, but he's going to die. And it's going to be Allison, the only one left.
Badass, dude.
The only one left standing, right? I'd imagine.
Hopefully.
But 4 years, I think that atmosphere sets a tone for like a really different movie. And I think that movie's going to be a lot better only for the fact that now we have stakes, because we know that this was written to be a trilogy.
Love steak.
We know that like this is the end. It's called Halloween Ends. Like this is where we're going to finally get the Jamie Lee Curtis definitive finish to
final
her
stand as some
character. Yeah. And I think even though this movie it has some interesting progression, it seems kind of like they could have squished to me into 2 big movies rather than doing 3 individuals here.
I know what you mean.
But it happened. It is what it is. It's somewhere in the middle to me. It's not bad, but it's not. There's definitely flaws in it to me. But it leaves me again optimistic that the third one at least is going to have great kills. 100%.
Yeah, it wasn't a total crash and burn, man. I think if anything, it does set up this third film. Mm-hmm. Based on what you told me, we knew kind of what to expect, and this just kind of maybe not met the expectations from an execution standpoint, but at least from a storyline point, we know
progressed it in some interesting ways. And like I said, I think giving us a completely different environment with that time jump of like envisioning like deserted streets of Haddonfield, because nobody's come outside on Halloween in years. Like this time of the year rolls around in the whole month that people are on eggshells.
He put down at least 30 people that day.
Yeah, in one day. Right. And like I said, like now that like we thought we could all kill him by getting together because he can't pick us off one by one, it didn't fucking work. So like in their minds, it's like there's no point in fighting him because we'll never be able to stop him.
It's just lets the air out of your sails, dude. Like there's really not anything that you can do. But overall, man, I know that you were pretty excited about the film. I didn't hear a bad review. I heard some of your disappointments, but certainly not a bad review.
Yeah, it's just like it's coming from a place of like I'm a huge fan. I liked a fair amount of it, but it's not without things like when you guys watch Star Wars, it's like I think you guys are more critical actually of it. But what I was gonna say is like you can look at it and be like, I enjoy the environment, I love the characters, like I want to see it keep progressing, but like at the same time I want you to stay true to stuff that I love and.
No,
you can fuck that up.
It makes sense, man. Like, the only thing that I think could be worse than that is like if a friend doesn't live up to an expectation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you make a pact with a friend. Yeah. And you're like, we're not doing this. And then the person's like, I probably could do it.
Yeah. What do you have in mind?
I may or may not have watched something that we said we weren't going to watch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Without telling me?
Yeah, I figured this might be the moment.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, but could we talk about it?
I guess.
Really quickly.
All right, dude. I mean,
can I explain my reasoning?
You have no self-control. You don't actually care about me. We break promises once a week. Hashtag we break promises.
No, man. If I can be honest, I felt like I owed it to myself and to you to not be the person who just goes along with what you say. And the reason why I say this is because I felt like all of the reviews, everybody I had spoken to, everybody out there, and their mom was saying, Squid Game's dope. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to watch it. Not going to watch it. Me and my buddy, we're not going to watch it. And then I was like, you know what? He's never going to watch it. So I'll watch it really quick. As some Spanish Americans would say, un poquito.
Not you, because not really Spanish.
Un poquito, dude. And didn't really live up to the hype.
First and foremost, I thought we were on two different pages on what I thought you lied to me about.
Really?
I'm glad you didn't watch What If.
Okay.
Because I was like, is that what he said he's watched? Okay, so this is a whole different boat of thing. Like, I don't know, dude. You can watch Squid Game if you need to, I guess.
No, but the thing is I did.
And it was a lost cause.
I don't understand what all the hype was about.
It's Matt. Well, so we just watched Halloween, right?
Yeah. Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
Specifically.
So people get off on like gore and like violence and shit like that. The same reason Saw did so well. The same way Hostel did so well.
I understand that.
That like when you get a TV show that isn't that different than any of those things are. Like not any more gory than the Halloween movies are or anything like that. But it's just it comes in the form of a TV series. I think that it draws people in a lot more. And we just live in a world that's like so trend heavy that that's all it really is. You need to catch good word of mouth on like some algorithm needs to pick you up. And then all of a sudden people give a fuck. It's really Netflix.
When you start hearing like, oh, this is the most streamed show on any streaming service.
That means nothing anymore.
I know, no, I totally get that. But when all of this hype is being built up around it, and I watch it, and all I'm thinking to myself is, oh, I could see everything that's going to happen in this show. It's not like early seasons of Game of Thrones where they kind of get you, if you're not a book reader. If you're a show watcher, you get caught off guard by some of these things.
No, it just comes right out and gives it to you.
This entire show, I'm like, oh, that person's going to betray this person. Oh, this person's going to die. Oh, this person's going to get dead in about 5 seconds.
It definitely, I mean, the big thing for me why I just don't really care to watch it is it just feels like I've seen it before in one format or another. Like I've seen the Hunger Games. I made that joke, I know, but like that's, I know the premise in that regard. I know the violence because I could watch a million things that are violent.
Yeah.
Like I don't, and then it comes back to like me reading the subtitles and everything. Like, why do that when I can watch shit in English that does like all the same things?
And I made the mistake. I watched the English dub just because I didn't want to waste the time of reading the subtitles.
But you're an anime dude.
No, I get it, man. But I wasn't gonna waste my time reading subtitles. If I was gonna watch it, I was gonna multitask.
Well, dude, it's all good. It's forgiven. I'm not actually mad at you.
I didn't think you would be.
I just want to say something. Halloween did like 60 mil the first week.
Yeah, I heard that it did really well.
Versus The Last Duel, and I'm going to fit this in real quick. I don't know if you saw that Ridley Scott movie. That like they said night one, like the early release didn't even break $1 million.
Bro, Matt Damon.
It cost
a tough
like
time of it.
They said it cost like a couple $100 million to make or some shit like that.
Well,
it didn't even make $1 million its first day of release.
The cast is what was so thick in that movie.
Yeah.
So I can imagine they paid
Matt
a bunch
Damon,
of people
Ben
to show
Affleck,
up.
Adam
Ben Affleck.
Driver.
No, you have all these people, and it's like, okay, this movie's not going to be good based on everything I know about it.
I don't think it got good promotion.
Maybe. I don't know, man. We're not promoters. Well, shame on me, man, but I would never break your trust like 100%. So the whole what if thing, I'm still not on the board with that show. Actually, I made the mistake of accidentally watching a trailer for the Captain Carter episode. I'm going to be honest with you, buddy. Not one bit interested in this entire series.
No?
Nah.
None of it?
Nah.
Zero.
The whole concept of it, what if this happened? It didn't. So I'm not interested.
Here's the issue. I'll tell you. So I was on Hey Archer live 2 weeks ago, two Thursdays ago. Awesome. Go back and check out the episode. Give him a follow. Check it out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock. Hey Archer live. If you don't, you're a fucking idiot. Anywho,
Dumbass.
He enlightened me to the fact that apparently, spoiler alert in some way, I suppose. Not that
3,
I can.
2, 1.
Can you spoil something you've never actually watched?
Yeah, of course you can if you know something about it.
Okay, so he told me that like basically what you're saying that we all thought is like all these things are supposed to be standalone stories, but what they try to do at the end of all of it
Just tie it all together into what just happened with Loki.
is mix it in, right?
Yeah. Fuckers.
So, Sugma, dude, like, why are we doing it this way? It's like, if you're gonna tell me individualized stories,
Is that punctuation? Sugma.
yeah, you get the point. Like, I'm trying to censorize myself.
That was great.
It's a matter of like, don't like feed me chicken shit and tell me it's chicken salad, right?
Yeah, definitely don't feed me chicken shit
and tell me it's chicken salad
because it's not going to satisfy my hunger. No, man.
Yeah.
And that's I watched this trailer and listen, I've got nothing against changing storylines. I'm a sucker for storylines. I've said this in the past. But when you title something "What If," you tell me it has nothing to do with the series, and I had already found out that it was eventually going to tie into what happens, I'm not interested. I love the idea of Eric Killmonger being more involved in the Marvel franchise.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of him somehow being infused with Ultron, not interested. None of that makes sense to me.
Doesn't even make sense to me.
Doesn't make sense to me. How does it happen?
Going over my head, trying to be too smart.
Black Panther T'Challa ending up as Star-Lord, not interested. Hate my guts if you want me to. If you want to, drop it in the chat. Let me know I'm wrong.
I hate his fucking guts.
But at this point, I love you to death just to say that I'm probably never going to watch that show, buddy.
Thank God, dude.
You know?
Thank God.
But to some stuff that I did watch and I will be watching, it's been a little while since it happened, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it. Stop doing that.
Dope.
DC Fandome.
Beat step to.
No.
Spanel. Once you don't succeed.
Well, how many times are we going to sing Aaliyah on the show?
Yeah. So the yearly occurrence, we've come back around. Last year, we were in our early stages when this came out, and we talked about the Batman.
We did, and we're still talking about the Batman.
But this time, we're talking about even more of the Batman.
Yeah, we got so much more.
They hit us with so much Batman, triple the Batman when you really get down to it.
No, DC dropped an S load on us, dude, because we got a little bit of the Flash, we got a little bit of Aquaman. A little bit of the Batman, a lot of bit of the Batman. And they're still talking about releasing Arkham Knights, still a thing. But what was some of your biggest takeaways from DC Fandom, buddy?
The only thing that really stood out to me too much was, obviously, I think for everybody, the Batman. The trailer was great. Like, about as good as trailers can be, I would say.
I think the question was, how hard are you?
Yeah, it's fucking... so hard.
What's the hard-o-meter on how you felt about this?
So if it was a rating of 6 to midnight, I'm approximately at a 9.45 right now talking about the Batman.
I'm at a full 10-10, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, dude.
Yeah.
Symmetry.
I know I didn't show a lot of enthusiasm, but I had seen some of that trailer. Yeah, man, I'm excited about it.
You better not see me when I get to 11:11.
Dude, make a wish, baby. No, I liked the in-depth look at the Pattinson. The idea of getting to see Robert Pattinson in his glory as Batman in the suit.
I was going to call him the Patman.
Oh, either one of those work. I actually think I like that better.
Yeah.
It's less verbiage.
Yeah, it's less work.
Okay.
The Patman.
But you like the Patman.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously this is closer. I don't know. So now if we're going to rank them, right, and we can do this off of a trailer, like, this is completely reasonable. And, like, you got Bale, you got Batfleck, and you got the Patman.
The Patman.
How do we rank them? Does it go Bale, Patman?
Bale has to be number one, right?
Is it still?
Maybe are you crazy?
Has the Patman beat him already?
You insane? No. Bale will always be number one because his voice didn't have a changer. He had to do it himself. So there was nothing better than him not having the mask on and being like, "Where is she?"
Well, no, but there's definitely the scene in the trailer for this when he he's in the police station and he slams on the window and nobody knew what the fuck he said.
I think the Batfleck, solid last place.
Yeah,
I think it's very easy to say that.
Already lost. Is going to be in the Flash movie though.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I think it's the Flash movie he's going to be in.
We'll see how that goes. It is. They teased at it, right? You got to see the head, got to see the tip. and then they showed you the vehicle.
Well, no, but that's a different Batman.
What?
So the Batflack's going to be in the Flash movie, but also the Keaton Man is going to be in the Flash movie.
Oh, so you got both of them.
The Batmobile that you
both of them
are going to get unveiled
Is
there
the
is
old
the
school
OG one. Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be dope.
That's
Okay.
why they didn't want to show it to you.
A lot of things to
See, this is
look
when
forward
I was like, did you get it? And you were like, oh, you mean that he's really fast and that he had a fucking thing that he was like, yeah, this is the Batmobile. And I was
That's oddly accurate. Even though I didn't say that, I do sound exactly like that.
spot on, dude.
It is spot on. No, fuck you, dude. I knew it was the Batmobile. I just didn't know what, but whatever, dude.
Can I hot take you for a second?
Sugma. Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody is out here being like, I can't believe that's Colin Farrell. Like, that looks nothing like Colin Farrell. Like, you've heard a lot of that?
Yes.
Everybody's saying that. I have a hot take for you, Matt. I don't think that's Rob. I don't think it's
Yeah,
him.
it's Colin Farrell.
I don't think it's Colin Farrell. Like, I think that they're telling you all that that's fucking Colin Farrell. I think somebody else is Colin Farrell. We haven't even seen
Hold
him yet.
on, so you
I
saying
don't
that-
think we've seen Colin
So
Farrell
you're saying
yet.
Colin Farrell isn't like the person that we know as Colin Farrell from like SWAT,
Yeah.
from Brokeback Mountain, which I
That
know
they're
is a
trying to
favorite
tell
movie
us
of
is in a
yours.
fat guy suit with prosthetics.
You think
Talking
that-
with a poor
Do you think
Brooklyn
this guy,
attitude.
Do you
like
think
an
this guy
accent.
ate?
Robert, do I think he ate Colin Farrell?
I think he ate Colin Farrell.
Let me ask you, dude. Does this seem like Oswald like when you watch that guy
Oswald
on
Cobblepot?
screen in the trailer? When you see Oswald Cobblepot, does he seem more like Carmine Falcone, or does he seem more like?
I mean,
Oswald?
he's been slowly but surely turning into Robert De Niro over like the last 5 or 10 years.
It's just
His
so
eyes is just
the way-
slowly squinting.
the way he's taught. Like, it's I don't know fucking anything about Oswald Cobblepot anyway. But to me, he
I'm the fucking penguin.
he doesn't look enough like Danny DeVito. Maybe that's the problem.
Is Danny DeVito your only penguin
Well, or the one from the show.
from Gotham?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't look like either one of those.
He doesn't
That
look like
dude,
the-
oddly enough, looks exactly like a penguin, though.
He doesn't come off anything like the animated version. Doesn't he come off more like Carmine Falcone?
Carmine Falcone. I mean, he's going full blown De Niro. So I'm the penguin. Look at me, fucking penguin.
Dude, hot take. If
I'm
anybody
not
else,
disagreeing with you.
there's
It might
got to
not
be
be
somebody out there that agrees with me that they are going a little too hard in the like. Let's make everybody know that this is Colin Farrell, but it looks nothing
The
like
cool
him.
thing that I liked about it is that they keep upping the ante when it comes to Alfred.
Mhm.
So like Alfred from Gotham, I thought was really badass. Then you had Jeremy Irons as Alfred, which again another badass. Now you get Andy Serkis.
Mm-hmm.
No, like
Boatload of fun, that guy.
bro, badass. Like he played Gollum,
Gollum.
Schmeagol,
Hmm.
young Schmeagol's biz.
He also played the ape in the Planet of the Apes,
The original?
the new ones.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
Really? That I did not know. That's
Yeah.
a hot take. You are full of them,
You want
dude.
to click on his name just to make sure I'm right, but
I
I'm
mean,
pretty sure
I've known
that
not
he.
to
What is the
disagree
main?
with you.
I just watched this movie a month ago. What is the main ape's name?
Caesar?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, he's Caesar.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
See, he just continues to amaze me, bro.
Isn't
because
that's kind of thug though that he like you would not know that like
That's what he. But,
he's the motion capture guy. That's why it's weird when you see him playing in a real like himself like
well,
in
that's
a movie.
why. But he did a great job in Black Panther,
Mhm.
as Klaus, right?
Yeah.
Like he did in the short amount of time that he was there, he played a crazy guy.
Well, to be able to emote the way that he does through like a digital screen, you have to imagine that he's doing that himself.
Oh, he's a talented
Yeah.
guy, man. To have him as Alfred, I think, is a big win. Big win.
The cast for this is top
Spot
notch.
on.
Seeing the way it's being brought to life, the cinematography like for this movie looks great. Like some of the shots of like the skyline when they're like that shot there,
Dude, it's
when he is standing like in front of the city.
big time, like Batman animated series.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
You got the
like those
vibes?
type of vibes. Yeah, mixed in a little bit with the video games, but I'm getting heavy animated series vibes from the trailer.
So the Flash, we talked about that briefly. It's got a Keaton voiceover, but we don't see any actual Keaton. The Keats man is not in there.
But we know for sure he's gonna be there.
Definitely.
Okay. That makes me
There's
happy.
so that's what I was telling you. The manor at the very beginning of that little teaser they gave us is the same manor from the Keaton Batman verse.
Okay.
Like it's like to a T.
Okay.
Same one. The guy, you got Supergirl in that little still frame. You also have what's probably going to be Bad Flash. If you just if you look at that thumb a little further down there, See that one?
Yeah.
So behind him to the right is Supergirl. And to the left is another version of the Flash that I guess if you look closely enough, the Flash symbol he has on his chest has a bat logo behind it.
That's pretty sick.
So in one of the, it's tough.
The Bat Flash.
So I always reference this on here. You've got the Weekly Planet. You've got Mr. Sunday Movies on YouTube. Great YouTube channel. Does a lot of like Easter egg videos, but also they have their own podcast. I would definitely listen to them. They always give me keep me up to speed on this kind of stuff. That to be fair, like I mostly watch the cinema versions of these characters. I'm not a big read the comic or the graphic novel. So having those types of resources always makes it a lot easier. They do the work for you.
Cool to see that. Tim Morrison is in the movie too.
No idea who that is.
People know him. He's basically the new Boba Fett in the Mandalorian series.
That's why I definitely didn't know what he was.
Yeah.
Speaking of Boba Fett,
too.
I've started working on my 1,000-piece Boba Fett puzzle.
Ooh.
I've approximately put like 200 pieces on wax so far.
At some point, could I spend like 20 minutes looking over your shoulder and just being like, "Ooh, that's a good one"?
Yeah. Maybe
just for some encouragement.
I'll think about it. It's kind of a me thing.
It can be off camera.
I don't feel comfortable.
I'll pull a Michael Myers. You don't even need to know I'm there.
Do you think they had to recast Iris? Not Irish.
It's tough to recast Iris, man. I love Iris.
You should have just brought her over from the show.
You should have.
That show sucks, by the way. That show sucks.
Are you more frustrated that it sucks or that it took you this long to realize that it sucks?
I watched.
You've been living on a prayer with that
tried,
show,
dude. I tried watching it. I put it on. I got through like 7 episodes of the first season, which I've seen before, and I remember being decent. It's not fucking decent. It's bad.
I'm going to revisit a conversation that you and I had 5 years ago when we were going through our Arrow phase, and we were real heavy into it, and you were like, oh, man, the crossover, it's amazing. You got to watch the crossover because the crossover episodes, blah, 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 blah. And then when you watch it from The Flash and you do all this, you're not wrong. But my response to you was I can't get through The Flash. That show is shit. It's really just, Barry, how fast can you run? Hey, can you run faster than this guy? Oh, now you got to run faster than yourself. And you were like, no, man, it's a lot more than that. And here we are, some 5.5, 4 years later. I went backwards on that. You're coming back to me, buddy.
There's too many people now I know, too. I saw like a little clip from it, and from one of the more recent seasons, and it's like Barry's running fast, and then there's yellow Flash guy running fast, and then there's a whole group of white Flash guys, like 3 of them that are running fast behind them. Yeah. And I'm like, who
you got Black Flash.
The fuck gives a shit about any of these fast runners?
Dude,
nobody cares, Michael Johnson. All of them,
dude. Wow, Michael Johnson, that's a really good reference. Funny enough, I was watching The Master of Disguise the other day.
What does he do in that? Turtle.
Come on, that movie is way more than that. And people
That's not no, dude. There's
movie.
2 things that people remember that movie from. It's Turtle, and then there's one other thing that I don't remember.
There's a bunch of stuff from there, dude.
No, drop one.
He goes full Al Pacino. He goes, the little shrunken head right here, from the village of.
Was that? Did they never let Dana Carvey do another movie after that?
No, man. He did some shows.
Oh, sweet.
And he dropped a couple comedy specials. He didn't need to do another movie, dude. Made mad money off that.
Let's wrap Fandome up with Black Adam, The Rock.
Yeah. I mean...
I thought we were just going to stop there.
No.
Just like we were going to say Black Adam, The Rock, and then we were going to go silent for a few minutes.
The teaser trailer was just The Rock talking about it. Like
in a tight shirt.
How awesome he felt about making the movie. How much of a great opportunity it was for him. How hard they are at work to make it look so boss-ass.
How hard do you think they were?
Just as hard as every other movie.
Like, do you think it was like a 7 p.m. thing? Like, what? How hard?
I think he's still trying to take a dig at Vin Diesel. Like, everything is like, oh, everybody works hard. Unlike you, Vin.
He's been going back.
Hard,
he's back at him in the media, dude. They're back at each other's throats.
They're constantly going at it, bro. So anytime he does this, where he's like, I'm so glad that I got an opportunity to be part of the DC universe. It's way better than being in the Marvel universe, which is what other people do. Another shot at Vin.
And like, I don't do sagas either. Like that Fast one, that thing sucks.
Yeah, like it just constantly taking days. And he's like, oh, and here's me in a big ass suit. And you
I also don't like that he's like, and you get to see how the power structure of the DC universe changes. So he's like, basically he's like, I make so much more money than all of these fuckers that I'm the big dog here now. Like, so, hey, Jason Momoa, you were going to be the cool guy? No, 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 my friend, no longer the cool one. Like, guy from Chuck, you thought you were going to get buff and go do this? Zachary Levi, you thought you were going to be the buffest guy in town? No, 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 my friend.
Did you see the interview that The Rock did where they were like, so there's a lot of rumors about you doing steroids. How's that make you feel? And he's like, I've only tried steroids once in my life.
And I never stopped again.
He was like, in college, I did it once. I knew it didn't make my body feel right. Never touched the stuff again. I've been all natural ever since. And you're like, okay, sir, how long have you been a liar?
You got titty surgery, buddy.
Yeah, dude, we get it, man. You're on the juice. It's not illegal for you to be on the juice. Just admit it. Say the kids shouldn't do it and just keep doing it, bro.
So, yeah, not much here. I'm not overly interested in Black Adam.
I am, but not for the reasons that you would think.
Not racist. But
his outfit... The more you do that, the more people are...
His outfit did not look cool. I'm sure he changed it. It looked like Doctor Doom-esque from
He looked fat.
Doctor Doom from the 2014 Fantastic Four movie. The really bad one with Michael B. Jordan.
Ugh.
See, jinx.
Man, why would you do that?
And buy me a fucking Coke.
You don't drink that stuff anymore.
All right, trailers are done.
Yeah. We didn't even announce that we were doing
Peacemaker
trailers.
was funny. He hugs a bald eagle.
Hilariously. My favorite part of it is he's like, hurry up and get a picture. I don't want to move. Because that's every person ever.
This was better than the teaser thing they did a week ago.
I didn't like we talked about me not liking the teaser. Or you not liking it either.
Yeah, this was pretty good, though.
This one got me on pace. I'm ready to watch.
I'm in it. I'll watch it.
I'm 100%.
I like John Cena. He's buff.
And that'll
He's in his underwear a ton.
You know what else? DC Fandom announced season 4 of Titans.
Yeah, dude. Thumbs up, my brother.
You gotta frickin' flip that inside out, dude.
Yeah, dude. Well, thumbs in the middle?
No, like, keep on. There you go.
Oh, shit.
Boom.
Damn.
That show is shit, dude. That's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. Pretty definite final.
If anybody's watched it, they'll know exactly how
yeah, I've seen, again, Hey Archer just out here telling people this thing's the trashiest of the most trash out there.
I saw something that said something along the lines of, like, I shouldn't have told people to watch season 3. Like, he had a great meme on it. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like, man, like, I got honey dick too. He's not the only one. It's one of the worst feelings in the world when you get so heavily invested in something and it just shits on your chest.
It keeps getting worse year over year.
It just keeps getting worse. Like, I can't imagine how it gets any worse, but I can imagine how it gets better, and it's by watching stuff that I know is good.
So what we're watching this week, let's start here. You season 3 dropped on Friday.
It did.
Have you been watching?
I have. Me and the wife have been watching.
Okay.
And we are already to a point where we're like, all right, this is a stressful ass show.
Yeah, so season 3 is a bit different. So I'm about 5 episodes in.
You're deep.
Yeah, I'm fairly. I don't know how many episodes are in the season. I assume like 10.
Hopefully.
Gonna stay away from spoilers, I guess, for the most part. This season's been a little hard. At first, I just didn't love that. Like, I'm like, how much longer could they get away with murder? You know. Because there's just there's just a trend of bodies around them, but they find good ways to explain all of it away.
Yeah.
In a somewhat believable manner. However, this one, it just, like I said, it started to jump the shark a little bit for me. But then what I've grown to enjoy in this season now is what is his name?
Joe.
I keep wanting to call him Dan because of his Gossip Girl character.
Joe, bro.
So Joe. I like that he is trying so hard to be on the straight and narrow. And it's the funniest part of this season is watching her just just always finds ways to just fuck it up for him.
Man, I'm going to catch a lot of hate for this.
Yeah.
We always, as a society, talk about how behind every strong man, there's a strong woman.
Yeah.
And in most cases, that's probably it, right? You got a great support system at home. That's great. But they also don't talk about the many stories of how a great man can just be toppled by one crazy bitch.
Yes.
And in this instance, just like you're saying, trying to walk a straight line, live well by my kid, and I can't do that because you just keep doing stuff.
Because I married an axe murderer.
But there's just a lot of unresolved issues that this couple has to deal with that we've seen from season 2. And you can see how they easily escalate to what comes to be.
I enjoy the continued involvement of the therapists too.
It's a great added dimension.
Because it's like the couples therapy thing. It's like them actually being able to break down walls while also just being like psychopaths. Is
Being
so
able
funny.
to admit everything you've done
Yeah.
without actually giving details, and then having someone be like, "That's fine.
Yeah.
You're okay." Like,
And in their sick minds,
why are
they
you beating
convince
yourselves
themselves.
up over this? And they're like, "No, you know what? She's right. We have murdered like a combined 15 people, but that's all in the past.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to worry about that to be better."
Let's build another safe room just in case.
We did the trailer reaction on here, some odd, maybe 3 to 4 weeks ago. Has this already shown you pretty much everything that you saw in the trailers? Did it already answer a lot of questions for you?
I don't actually remember all of the trailer as well, but I think it's pretty much in line. I don't want to spoil it because I was very surprised one of the characters, how quickly they were like in and out.
Yeah.
For being like heavily involved, it felt like in the trailer.
And the
right?
build up.
But I actually in some ways like that it could have done things like it has in the past seasons, and I think it sped up some of those platforms, and it's more focused on them, the aftermath of what's happened, more than it is on the actual actions, it feels like.
Yeah, I like the idea that no one's safe.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime a show is really up the ante when it comes to their characters, like, hey, you might like this person, you may think that this person's an intricate part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
They may or they may not be. It could be short-lived, but then how they're also getting you way more invested. Like, again, these two people are very terrible, yet I find myself like, oh, you guys are gonna get through this.
Yeah.
Like,
They're like it's a teeters a weird line that I feel like people who really liked like Dexter probably feel,
those weirdos,
right? Where you're like, I know this is a fucking mass murderer, but like they're I kind of get them. Like
when he's not murdering people, he's a really nice person.
There's probably like a whole like subreddit about people who are like weirdly attracted to that dude.
Oh, I mean, dude, serial killers get like love letters and proposals in jail all the time.
I love when the chick is like he's reading the text messages from the chick's sister, and he's like the weird dude next to her,
the boring neighbor.
Yeah,
damn it! Like, seriously, this is how you saw me?
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh man, that's messed up.
Yeah, like no, he's not that boring.
Like, if you only knew, this guy is deep, man.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get below the surface. No, we won't spoil it here. I know
definitely watch it. It's still enjoyable. The show's still fun. This season's not to me as tense as the first two seasons were, but still a lot of like twists and turns.
It's a roller coaster ride.
In 5 episodes in, like I still know there's more like bad shit that's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's why I asked that question, is because just off of the trailer that we saw, I'm like, oh, there's way more to this story. Like, a lot more is gonna go down, which gets me excited about what's to come.
So last couple things here from me. Quickly, I watched the first episode I Know What You Did Last Summer, the TV series. It's okay. It's kind of interesting. It's like
okay.
It starts off after whatever has happened, like the events of whatever has happened,
so
and you fill
fall?
in the like. Sure. Yes. Exactly. So you fill in the blanks of like the summer. Yeah. The foliage has changed. But not much to say there. Like I kind of, where it's a TV series, you just met the main characters in this one.
How many episodes are they expecting?
I have no idea.
No idea.
No
Okay.
idea. I'm in the dark
something
on
to
that.
look forward to, though.
But I would say if you like the series, check it out. It's easy enough to watch. It was about 45 minutes to an hour, and like it didn't offend me at all. It wasn't like amazing, but it was a good start.
Okay.
And finally, for me, I've started watching Riverdale on Netflix. I'm on season 2 because I saw a picture of Sabrina showing up in season 6.
And I know you were a huge Sabrina fan.
Only the first
Netflix.
season. I never watched any other stuff. I know you've watched way more than me.
Yeah, I hate that because you got me to watch it, and then I was the one who was emotionally invested.
Well, it's the same thing I always have trouble with, Matt. Like, I love the first season, but then I have to wait till the second season, and I never can come back. And like, I'd just rather have things be done so I could watch 4 seasons straight.
Oh, dude, you've got commitment issues.
But Riverdale's not terrible.
No, I've heard
the first
good things
season
about
was
the show.
good. Second season, I'm hitting the same wall I've hit in the past. I've seen the first season before, where it's just a little bit more of a grind. Also knowing I have 4 seasons to get through, but I took a little break with watching you, and hopefully that cleanses the palate to come back.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like there's nothing else to watch. It seems like Netflix has dropped a bunch of stuff recently. Along with Hulu. I feel like Hulu's got to drop on a whole bunch of their new stuff as well. I feel like there's one thing I'm missing. Oh, Ted Lasso just wrapped up their season.
Thank God.
Their second season.
Thank
What
God.
the hell is that, dude?
Thank God, bro.
People need to get into it, dude. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Hands down, best television out there.
Nobody has Apple.
Man, get it. People buy phones.
Nobody gives a fuck about.
People buy phones.
Apple
you get
TV,
free
dude.
Apple TV Plus
Nobody
when you
gives
buy
a
a phone.
shit about Apple
Watch
TV
it.
Plus,
They
dude.
won Emmys, dude. People still give a shit about that
No,
stuff.
they don't.
Yes, they do, man. It's just like winning a Tommy. All right, so what do we have to look forward to watch this week, Len? I know that the UFC has an event that's kind of flown a little bit under the radar with Paulo Costa. Paulus Costas?
Borussia.
Borussia Costas. Fighting Martin Vittori.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Costa winning this one, although he is
has to.
he's a mental fucking midget, so he could still lose. So
Can I get the definition of a mental midget?
the small brain, fucking Neanderthal.
You calling him a soy boy?
Sure, yeah. Like,
That's not the same thing.
I don't think it's the same thing.
No.
No, but like they're both idiots. So these are this could be the lowest IQ combined in any UFC fight of all time.
Yeah, and at this point, if Borussia doesn't get the win, he could pretty much kiss his UFC career goodbye.
Vittori was talking about Anderson Silva, and he was like, "Yeah, not Anderson. He was talking about the fight he had with Adesanya. Sorry."
Okay.
And he was like, "Yeah, he wasn't better at striking. He wasn't better at grappling. Like he wasn't stronger than me. He was just smarter." And I was like, "So you're in fact just admitting that you're literally just dumb. You're so dumb you couldn't beat this
You're an
person."
idiot. Okay.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Good excuse.
I
Good
know where
reason.
we stand.
At least it's better than like, "Oh, I drank too much wine last night as a grown fucking man," as my excuse. So
I mean, the excuses just keep piling up. Or I can't take a fight because my ankle's hurt. In actuality, I'm just getting hair transplant surgery.
These are the two dumbest
list
fighters.
goes on.
The two dumbest fighters out there.
But not much else going on the UFC or the fight front.
Dune come out this week? Does
Dune's
Dune
coming
come
out
out?
this coming weekend, yes.
Okay, yeah. So there's that. I'll probably check that out.
I will check it out only out of respect for
Dave Bautista.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm going to support the project.
Timothy Chalamet.
No, you know what? Jason Momoa's in there.
Momoa.
Zendaya's in there. Plenty of people to support. I think I'll
Sweet.
jump on it.
Sweet. So that's all I got for this week, buddy.
Oh man, it was cool to get back in here, buddy. I missed you.
I missed you too, dude.
The weather's changing. I feel like we're gonna be in.
I'm in a hoodie, motherfucker.
We went from sweaty summer days to
cool breezes.
hoodie Tuesdays.
Yep. We're gonna go see the flower. Nope, the leaves.
The what? No, yeah, the foliage is changing, my guy.
Yeah.
But where can they find us on the soch?
You could check us out at Good Taste Live on Twitter.
And then we have Instagram at For Those With Good Taste. You can also catch us on the YouTubes where our channel sits at For Those With Good Taste.
Yep.
Drop a subscription, drop a like, drop a comment, or two. There's a couple people in there starting some beefs, and we're trying to get into it with them. But then they can also find the audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, some of the nether regions.
iHeartRadio, Pandora, Deezer, D's Nuts. And I think that's about it. Wrap it up here.
Yeah, shout out to Young Ange.
Congratulations on having good taste and sticking around this long.
Yeah, we love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Till next week.
Bye. Peace. We're out.
I want to do
Shaka.
one of those cool TikTok things where you put something over the camera and all of a sudden you're wearing different clothes. Watch, we're going to do it right now.
For those with good taste.